Okay, so this is going to be an instructional slash overview video of this 2014 Pilote G600 Advance. First of all, we're going to go around the external of the motorhome and then we will go into the habitation area. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to open the bonnet. Two reasons for this is one, obviously, so you know where the bonnet release catch is, and then two is then I'm going to show you where the terminal points are in the engine bay in case you need to jump start the vehicle for any reason. As you can see, this vehicle does come with an awning. On the email you will get sent a separate link how to set up and use the awning. So if you want to open the bonnet, all you need to do is come around to the passenger door. If you open the passenger door, you'll see at the side of the dash just there is the bonnet release catch. All you need to do, pull that down once and that will then release. Also, while we are in here, under the passenger seat we have a toolkit, so it'll have your towing eye in there as well. The windscreen has got a blackout blind across, and which will slide down from the top up here, so that will slide all the way down, and then on the side windows here just need to release this catch here and then they will slide across on the passenger side and driver's side for the blackout blinds at the front. So as you can see, I've now got access to the bonnet area. So to lift it up, there is a catch here, and then obviously there is a support arm as well. And then, like I say, if you need to jump start the vehicle for any reason, just at the back there under this cover you do have your positive terminal point, and then your negative terminal point is just down here on this nipple here. So now we are going to carry around the external of the motorhome. So we'll carry on the passenger side. So the first compartment we come to is going to be your diesel fill, which is here. All you need to do is just use your vehicle blade key to access this. As you can see, we've got some extra security locks, so these obviously swing around, and then obviously you can lock this here. Just a bit of obviously extra protection as well. So that is your diesel fill there. The next compartment we come to is going to be your fresh water. So what you need to do is use your habitation key, take off this white cap, put your hose pipe in, and then obviously that will fill up the fresh water tank. Obviously before you do that, you need to make sure obviously the fresh water tank valve, drain valve, is closed, which is internal, which we will get to. When the water starts to come back out, that means the fresh water tank is completely full. Above that we have your boiler flue vent, so they keep this clear at all times, because obviously when this is running on gas, this is where the fumes do exhaust from. In this locker here we have your Truma boiler, and the only reason you will need access to this is for this little black valve down below here. So this is called a frost protect valve. Basically what this does, you need to shut this valve if you want to fill up the boiler with water, but then also this is where you drain the boiler with all the water out of the boiler, sorry. So currently that is in the open position. How I know this is because this blue button down here is currently stuck out, protruding. So we want to close this valve. All you need to do is twist this diamond valve on top, like so, and then push this blue button in down below. If the blue button stays in, that means that valve is shut. So when you fill up your water system, and obviously your hot water, the water is not going to drain out of the boiler, it's going to fill the boiler up with water. This valve is called a frost protect valve because if you go somewhere cold, if it hits 3 degrees or less, this valve will automatically trigger to drain all the water out of the boiler, just in case you've left it full. It's trying to protect the boiler in case it freezes. If you want to manually drain it, all you need to do, this diamond valve on top again, twist it, you'll hear the button pop out, make sure the button's out, and then all the water will drain out of the boiler underneath the motorhome. Here we have garage area, got a shelf in there, and obviously it goes all the way across underneath. Your awning winder is in the garage, and here, as you can see, it is heated in here as well, so you can isolate this ducting vent from the heating, or leave it open, just some air circulating in here as well. Got a bike rack on the back of this. Now we are on the driver's side of the habitation, and this is where your toilet cassette is. Also underneath, that is a bit of the belly locker to the garage. So if you want to empty or take out your cassette, the first thing you need to do is make sure the toilet blade is shut, which we'll get to in the internal. Basically there's a grey handle. If that is open, the toilet cassette won't release. Once you've done that, to release this cassette, this orange handle here, lift it up, pull the cassette towards you, that will then release. If we want to empty the cassette from all its contents, what we need to do is this orange nozzle on the left, twist it out to the left, take the grey cap off, and then tilt up the cassette. If you want the fluids to flow out a lot faster and not splatter you, if you hold this button down at the top, it lets air in the top of the cassette, so all the fluids flow out a lot faster. Also, you can open the cassette blade here, slide the blade, twist this knob here, and that will open the blade so you can clean inside with a hose pipe if needed. And then all you need to do is align your cassette back up, slide it backwards, and then make sure that this orange tab is down in this groove here. So then in transit, it's not going to move in or out. Here we have ventilation bottom and top for your fridge freezer. The ventilation is obviously because the fridge freezer runs on gas, so it's just some air circulation. Here we have external gas point, so obviously you can have a barbecue outside, just need a connection which goes on here and twists. Directly below that, here we have your grey waste release valve. So that handle just there, all you need to do is twist it a quarter turn, and then obviously your grey waste will open and dump out there. And then obviously make sure you close this when you are using it, so no grey waste is going on the floor. Here we have your mains hookup, so this is where you connect to for when you're at campsite. Obviously if you want to get your 3-pin sockets working. Also this obviously charges your leisure batteries as well. And then the last compartment is going to be your storage locker for the LPG tanks. So you can fit 2 tanks inside here. And then we've got your regulator just here. So you just need to connect onto the regulator with the orange hose if you buy one, with a 1/2-inch thread. And then the 3/4 thread fits onto the gas tanks. So in here you could probably fit 6-kilogram tanks. You might be able to get a little bit bigger. But you can fit 2 tanks in here. And then the previous customer did have an LPG system fitted, so this is where they would have filled up. So at the moment this is redundant, but obviously you can get all that reconnected up if you buy an LPG gas low system to put in there. Now we are going to go into the habitation area. So now we are in the habitation area. Directly above the habitation door, we have your control panel. So the bottom left corner here, we've got a switch, a rocker switch. Turn it on at the top and that will turn on the control panel. Also that turns on the 12-volt system. For your lights, as you can see, we have got lights on now. So that is your master on and off switch. Up here, we've got battery select. Sorry, not battery select, we've got your battery level. So the bottom one, as you can see, the battery symbol is in the habitation. Press and hold, that will give you your rough gauge of your leisure battery. Top one is your vehicle battery. Press and hold, again, that will give you a rough gauge as well. Next one along is AUX, so that will turn on some of the, that will turn on the radio, sorry. So if I turn that on, you can see the Pioneer unit coming on there, and you might hear the radio in a second. So that turns the radio because there is some speakers like so. One in the middle is your lights. So obviously I can turn all the lights off on the 12-volt system from here. This one, which looks like a water droplet, is your water pump. So you only want to turn this pump on when you've got water in the fresh water tank. If you turn this on and you hear the pump running, make sure you turn it off, because if you can hear the noise of the pump running dry because there's no water left, then obviously you could potentially burn out that motor. So only turn this on when you've got water in the fresh water tank. This rocker switch here, so lower down would be your grey waste. So if you press and hold, it will give you an indication here of your grey waste. Currently is empty. Press and hold for the top one, and that is your fresh water, which is obviously empty as well. Here we've got your controls for heating and hot water. This little black dome here is just your thermostat, so this is where it picks up the temperature to knock the heating on or off. So on the right hand side we have got your controls for your source. So this is the source of what you want to use for the heating and hot water. So we'll start all the way to the top. You've got 2 kilowatts, so that's electric only. Next one down is 1 kilowatt of electric, so this is when you're at campsite or plugged in somewhere physical to shore. Next one in the middle is gas on its own, so turn the gas canisters on and know that's in gas. Next one down is gas and electric, and then the last one is gas and electric again, but it's 2 kilowatts of electric. So gas is when you're off grid, and obviously electric only is when you're at campsite, or if you want to use electric and gas, you've got the best of both worlds. Here we have your hot water and heating control. So in the middle we've got off, turn this on, got 40 degrees. On the outer ring, turn it up again, it goes to 60 degrees, so that's your hot water. Back to the middle is off. Hot water on gas. Hot water and gas. And then, sorry, I got that the wrong way around. The bottom one is heating and on hot water at 60 degrees. The flame on its own is just your heating. To turn your temperature of the heating up, it's just the dial in the middle. So as you can see, you got number 1 all the way to number 5. So that's your heating dial in the middle for the temperature and fan speed. Gas symbol on its own is the heating. Gas and 60 degrees is heating and hot water. And then obviously you can just do hot water on its own. I'm going to turn this off just so it doesn't fault, because I've no gas or electric connected. So that is your control panel there. It is quite straightforward, but you've always got this video to pause and stop to relay to. We've got obviously a drop down bed up here, which goes into the window area. If you want to use the drop down bed, all you need to do is the driver and passenger seat is fold the back of the seat down forward, so then the drop down bed does come all the way down and swing into the window area. As you can see, I've got them both swiveled. You've got a storage pocket down here. We've got a bench seat here. Under this bench seat, I will remove the cushion, is your leisure batteries or your 12-volt system, so your fuses are down there, and also your 240-volt mains breaker is down there as well. Side of the habitation door, we got your controls, we've got some light switches, and then obviously this one here is your electric fold away step. Got some storage under the floor there. This table, if you want to use it all, pull the support arm out and open it up. Also, this table does lower all the way down to make up a large dinette to berth area lower down. If you do set that up, you just need to use these support legs when it's in its lowest position, just so the other side of the table has got support when it's in the dinette to berth position. Under this bench seat here, it's your 2 travel seats. So you'll need to remove the middle cushion there for the second person. Also under here is your fresh water tank, and this is where you will access to drain the fresh water tank or put the bung in to obviously fill the fresh water tank up. I'll remove these cushions in a moment. We're carrying around to the kitchen area. Again, under the floor you've got some storage. Here we have got your three-way fridge and freezer. So your controls are just behind the door. And basically, if you want to turn this fridge on, press it on here, and as you can see, it's lit up. We've got a few settings here. So on the far right, we've got your temperature, which you can change. Obviously, the higher the blue dots, the colder it will get. We've got A. So A is for automatically select. So it's called a three-way fridge because it will automatically select the 3 different sources it may have available. So you can press A. As you can see, it's gone to gas because that's the next available source it thinks it has. Obviously, we have no gas cylinders connected, but if it does go on gas, make sure you turn the gas on. The next one, plug socket, that's electric only. So when you connect it to mains hookup, that is obviously mains hookup only. And as you can see, it's beeping because there's no power connected. Battery symbol, again it's beeping, but the battery symbol is when the engine's running. So basically the engine's running, the alternator charges up, and this takes a feed when the engine's running. So if you leave it on A, it will automatically change these over. But obviously on gas, you do need to turn them cylinders on. If you turn the engine off, or if you unplug from the campsite, you need to turn the gas on when you're stationary, just in case you've parked up somewhere on a lay-by. Eventually this will start beeping at you like that. To turn it off, just press and hold the power button and it will shut down. Got your kitchen sink. We're going to prime the system in effect. We're going to obviously do this dry, but basically we want water through the system, through the taps. How we're going to do that is fill up the fresh water tank completely full. Once that is completely full, we will come to our control panel up here, turn on the control panel, so we've got power, and then we will turn on our pump. Turn the pump on, and what that's going to do is pump water from the fresh water tank through the pipework and then to the tap. Then all you need to do is open the tap on the cold side. That's going to vent out any air in the tap. Once you get a steady flow of cold water, you can shut the tap. The cold water side is primed, ready to use. All you need to do now, we want to get hot water. How we're going to do this is twist to the left, and then we're going to lift up the hot water tap. And basically what that's going to do is take water from the fresh water tank into the boiler first. So you need to make sure you shut that frost protect valve at the boiler, otherwise this is pumping water straight out of the motorhome because that valve is open. If that valve is closed, the water will come from the fresh water tank straight into your boiler. It will fill the boiler up with water. Your boiler holds roughly around 10 to 12 litres of fresh water. Once the boiler is full, it will come then through the tap, steady flow again, shut the tap. Your full system is ready to use when you need. The only thing you need to do is obviously the water in the hot side is boiled. It's not instant water, so you do need to turn on your Truma controls up there to heat up obviously that hot water. Like I said, on this side is your source, is your fuel, so electric, gas mixed. And then if we just want hot water, outer ring, twist it up to 40 degrees and leave it, and that will slowly heat up that hot water. As you can see, we've got a 4-ring burner here. 3 is gas and 1's electric. The electric will only work when connected to mains hookup. And then obviously if you're off grid, you've got gas as well. One safety advice we do recommend is the glass cover. Is just to keep the glass cover up after use, just to let the stove cool down. You could potentially shatter it, the glass, because the glass is cold and obviously the stove is hot. Obviously we've got your controls here and your igniter as well. And then the last part is got your toilet and shower. So obviously got your shower cubicle there, so you don't need to prime this tap. Obviously once you've done one tap, it will just vent out any leftover air in the pipework. We have got your toilet here. So as you can see there, the grey handle, that is the blade I was talking about on your cassette. If that is open, then obviously you won't be able to pull the cassette out. You would want to shut this valve anyway, just because obviously to save any smells coming back up. In the far corner here, blue button, you press and hold. That will use some fresh water from the freshwater tank to swill out the bowl after use. Obviously you do need your control panel on for this and the pump to pump the water. And then to the far left in the top corner, just that little symbol there, that will light up orange/red when the toilet cassette is full. When it lights up, all you need to do is empty the cassette, clean it out and put it back in. And then we have got some storage in here, some infill cushions for the down it to berth, and as you can see we have got an aerial as well. So this is not a telescopic pole, so you just need to adjust this, slide it all the way up, adjust it with this nut, slide it up, and basically this control at the back, it has a little switch on the top, and then green, it will give you a green light in the middle if you've got strong signal. If you get a red light, that means you've got weak signal or no signal at all. And your TV is currently in here. It's like I say, when you're trying to look for satellite, you need to make sure that you've got the best of it. Will go green, orange, amber, and then red. But if it's solid red, usually you struggle to get signal. What I'm going to do now is remove these cushions to show you the last bits, and then we are done. So as you can see, I have now removed the cushions. Here we've obviously got your leisure batteries. We've got 2 leisure batteries on here, so you've got enough power for a few days off grid. Here we have your 12 volt system, so this is where you need to come to. On the 12 volt side, if one of the fuses pops, you need to check one of these fuses. It does have some text on here indicating obviously a rough where the fuse is, which appliance it's running. So that's where on your 12 volt system, which is run off your leisure batteries. In the far corner, got that white box there, that's your 240 volt side. So you'd only need to go there when you're plugged in at campsite if something trips on the 240 volt side. So it could be the plug sockets, your 3-pin sockets. It could be the fridge, because the fridge runs off 240 volt as well when on mains hookup. Most of the time it doesn't trip here. It is usually the campsite post, but that is where you need to check just in case. And then under the bench seat here, these travel seats, under this red cover, you unscrew this, and that is your fresh water tank. It's hard to show you, it's a little bit there, but basically at the back you can see that white valve bung, sorry. So basically it's like a plug. There we go, it's focused. So basically if you want to fill this fresh water tank up, you need to put that bung in, and then when you fill the water up, obviously it won't drain out. And then obviously if we want to drain it, if the tank is completely full and you don't want to get your hand wet straight away, like full, putting your hand in, you could run the water through the pipe work, as in opening the tap, pumping it that way until it goes lower. But then obviously if you want to make sure everything is empty, get your hand in there, take that white bung out, and that will then obviously empty the fresh water tank completely. Sometimes it's good to do this if you're heading home from campsite. Open the grey waste. So after you drain the grey waste, leave it open. Same with the fresh water, open the valve, and then in transit when you're moving around, any excess water in there will naturally drain out. So that is the instructional / overview video complete of this 2014 Pilote G600 Advance. If you have any more questions, leave a comment below, or you can always drop us an email or give us a call.